Hello and welcome to 3rd grade music lesson number 6. Today we're going to start by singing Yankee Doodle and Grand Old Flag for Flag Day, and then we will work on the third part of One Bottle of Pop. Then we'll sing Kaya Runo Gasso as a round. Then we'll keep talking about the instrument family, and today we're going to focus on the woodwind family. Today our objectives revolve around the instrument families again. The first goal is I can identify that instruments in the woodwind family are made of wood or metal, use air to make a sound, and often have many keys. So we're going to focus on the woodwind instruments today. And then your other goals are I can identify that there are 4 instrument families including woodwind, brass, string, and percussion. And I can identify that instruments are divided into families by how they're played or what they are made out of. Today we're going to start by working on the song Yankee Doodle. We'll sing the entire song first, then we're going to echo the refrain, or the part of the song that happens many times, and then finally we're going to learn about the meaning of the words in the refrain. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Good, and there we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Yankee Doodle went to town a-riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. There was Captain Washington upon a slapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there were a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Next, let's echo the refrain of the song, and the refrain is the part of the song that happens many times. So I'll sing it and then echo after me. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Now echo after me. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Your turn, here you go. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. My turn. Yankee Doodle dandy. Your turn. Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step. Your turn. Mind the music and the step. And with the girls be handy. And with the girls be handy. Now let's sing the whole thing again. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. So what do the words mean in the song Yankee Doodle? We'll start with the part that goes, Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Well, Yankee is a word you may have heard before because there's the baseball team, the New York Yankees. Yankee was an old word that meant someone from New England or America. And if you see at the side, there's the picture of the states that are highlighted: Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island are considered New England. And we live in New York, which is the state right next to those. Doodle is a word that means dude. It's an old word for saying dude. Dude's kind of a newer word. And then dandy is a word for someone who is dressed well or who is pretty stylish. So if you say Yankee Doodle dandy, you're saying someone who is really dressed well, and he's a dude from New England or America. Now, what do the words mean in the second half? The second half of the refrain goes, mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. So this is a very old song, and it started around 1775. And in the 1700s, people didn't have computers and TVs and all the things they do today, so people got together and danced for fun. And they did folk dances such as jigs and reels, and that's similar to square dancing, which you do in gym. Now, the words mind the music and the step mean remember the dance moves. Different towns and groups of people do different dance moves, so remember the ones that you are doing with a group of people you're with. Now, and the with the girls be handy means make sure you're holding the girl the correct way when dancing. A lot of the dances in the 1700s had pairs of people, so a guy and a girl dancing together, and so it means remember how you're supposed to move your feet and hold on to the girl's hands the right way while you're dancing. Next, we're going to sing through the song Grand Old Flag, and we will sing it 2 times in a row. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should odd acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should odd acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. Today we'll sing through the first 2 parts of One Bottle of Pop, and then we will echo sing the 3rd part, and finally we'll sing the whole song. Here we go. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottles of pop, 3 bottles of pop, 4 bottles of pop, 5 bottles of pop, 6 bottles of pop, 7 bottles of pop, pop. One more time. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottles of pop, 3 bottles of pop, 4 bottles of pop, 5 bottles of pop, 6 bottles of pop, 7 bottles of pop, pop. Now let's sing the second part about the meal. Here we go. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar. Pepper, 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 salt. One more time. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar. Pepper, 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 salt. Now this whole song is about a picnic, and the first part was about the bottles of pop, what you were going to drink at the picnic. The second part was about the meal, fish and chips, and this part is about what's left after you have a picnic. And so the words say, don't throw your junk in my backyard. And so that's all the stuff that you left over with after a picnic. So they could have said, don't throw your garbage in my backyard. And so this is the neighbors saying, hey, you take care of your own garbage. So let's echo sing the song, and then, I'll sing it and then we'll echo it. Here we go. So it goes, don't throw your junk in my backyard, my backyard, my backyard. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Listen one more time. Don't throw your junk in my backyard, my backyard, my backyard. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Now echo after me. Don't throw your junk in my backyard, my backyard, my backyard. Here you go. Don't throw your junk in my backyard. second half, my turn. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Your turn. Here you go. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Now let's do the whole third part together. Here we go. Don't throw your junk in my backyard. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Now let's sing the whole song straight through all three parts, and then next week we will sing it as a round. Here we go. Here we go. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottles of pop, 3 bottles of pop, 4 bottles of pop, 5 bottles of pop, 6 bottles of pop, 7 bottles of pop, pop. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, 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 salt. Here we go. Don't throw your junk in my backyard, my backyard, my backyard. Don't throw your junk in my backyard's full. Now we're going to sing Kairu no Utaga together. Let's sing it, and then in the next scene we will sing it as a round. Kairu no Utaga Kiko ete kuru yo. Kwa, 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 kwa. Ke, 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 kwa, kwa. Qua. In the next singing, I'm going to sing the song as a 3-part round. You can practice singing with me with either part 1, 2, or 3. Kairu no Utaga, Kairu no Utaga, Kairu no Utaga, Kairu Recently we've been talking about the instrument families. Do you remember why instruments are in families, and how do you know what family an instrument is in? Instruments are divided into families, and they are grouped by what they are made of or how they're played. And we talked about that families have things in common, so that the instruments are divided into groups by what they have in common. Just like families have things in common, like their eyes or their smile or hair, instruments have things in common, such as the sound they make, how they're played, and what they're made out of. So there are 4 instrument families. What are the 4 instrument families? The 4 instrument families are the brass family, which we talked about in the previous lessons, the woodwind family, which we'll talk about today, and then there's the string family and the percussion family. Now the percussion family we'll talk about soon in the upcoming lessons. These instruments are played by shaking, scraping, striking with hands or mallets. Some are pitched, which means they can play high and low sounds, and some are unpitched, which means that they are used to play rhythms. Now instruments in the string family have strings, and the strings vibrate to make a sound, and you can make the strings vibrate by bowing with a bow, rubbing a bow across the strings, strumming with your hands like I do with the guitar, plucking the strings to make them vibrate, and they are most often made out of wood. Over the last several lessons, we talked about the brass family. What do you remember about the brass family? What instruments are in the brass family? how do you make a sound on a brass instrument? And what vibrates to make a sound on a brass instrument? And what are brass instruments made out of? Now, the instruments in the brass family are the trumpet, trombone, French horn, tuba, and euphonium, which is not on here. And in the brass family, you use air to make a sound, and your lips are what vibrate when you put them on the mouthpiece and blow air across it. And then the brass instruments are made out of metal. Today we're going to focus on the woodwind family. Since I'm personally a brass player, I don't have as many to show you, and I'm not as good at playing them as I am at the brass instruments, but I'll show you the ones I have. Woodwind instruments use air to make a sound just like the brass family. However, your lips don't vibrate on the woodwind instruments. There's a little piece of wood called a reed that vibrates on many of them. On the oboe, bassoon, saxophone, and clarinet, there's a piece of wood that vibrates and shakes to make the sound when you blow across it. Some of the instruments, the air just vibrates through the tube as you blow through it. And you all know how to play one of those, the recorder and the piccolo and the flute. You just blow air across them and the air vibrates. If you notice, all of the woodwind instruments, they have many, many little keys on them, and you press the keys to change where the air comes out on the instrument to change different pitches, high and low sounds. And they can be made out of metal or wood. Originally, most of them were made out of wood, but today some are made out of metal. And here is the recorder, which is a woodwind instrument, and all of you have played a woodwind instrument. Recorders originally were made out of wood, and you can buy some that are made out of wood now, but all of you know this woodwind instrument. You blow your air across the top, it goes down through, and you know the fingerings for your for mi, re, and do, or B, A, and G on your recorder, which is a woodwind instrument. I'll play just a little because you guys all know what it sounds like. This next instrument is the flute, and the flute is a member of the woodwind family. You can see that it's made out of metal. It's actually a little too long for this picture. There we go. It's made out of metal. The woodwind instruments have many keys. You can see there's many, many keys on here. This is the mouthpiece where you blow your air across. And with the flute, you actually just blow across the top, kind of like you're blowing over like a soda bottle, kind of like a wood bottle of pop. If you blew over a soda bottle. As you blow over that little hole there, then some of the air goes straight across, some goes in, and then it goes down the instrument and comes out the hole. Then as you press different combinations of fingers, it covers the holes and changes which ones have air come out of it, and then that's how you make a sound. It's a lot like the recorder because it's a woodwind instrument. Next, I'm going to play some of your songs that you know on the recorder on the flute. Next, I'll play Hot Cross Buns. Next we'll do Let Me Be a Light for Hope. This is the clarinet, and you can see, like the other woodwind instruments, it has many keys. It looks a lot like the like a really fancy version of your recorder. And actually, the fingerings that you use on the recorder are almost exactly the same as the fingerings you use on the clarinet. And fingerings, that's the word that means what holes you cover. Unlike the recorder, the clarinet has a reed. This is a reed. The saxophone has a reed. The bassoon has a reed. many of the woodwind instruments do. It's a little piece of wood that you blow across, and then as you blow air across it, then this vibrates, and that's what makes the sound. On the flute and the recorder, air just goes into the instrument and vibrate, and then the air vibrates. But on this, the reed makes the air vibrate to make the sound. Now on the clarinet, I can play all of our recorder songs on here because it has exactly the same fingering. Since I'm a brass player, I'm not super good with the reeded instruments, but I'll play a little bit for you. If you watch my fingers, it's exactly like what you would play on your recorder. Next, let's do, listen to that cool cat. And finally, we'll do Let Me Be a Light for Hope. Next, I have a different version of a flute. This one is actually made out of wood, and you use air or wind to go through it. So it's a flute. It's a flute from Japan, and you can see it has holes that kind of like the recorder, but it's played like the flute. This one's actually a piece of bamboo hollowed out as well. Now I'll play Listen to That Cool Cat. And Let Me Be a Light for Hope. Today you had 3 objectives about the instrument families. The first was I can identify that instruments in the woodwind family are made out of wood or metal, use air to make a sound, and often have many keys. And I can identify there are 4 instrument families, including woodwind, brass, string, and percussion. And I can identify that instruments are divided into families by how they are played or what they are made out of.